that draw? We are about to find out. It's time to sit back and enjoy the action with Jim Duffy, Ryan McGowan and Andrew Petrie.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Capello for the last Scottish Cup quarter-final of the 2023-24 season. Aberdeen, Celtic and Rangers have already sealed their place in the semis. Now we're about to find out who will join them. In the blue corner, Greenock Morton, the championship side who recently went on a 16-game unbeaten run. In the maroon corner, Heart of Midlothian, third in the Premiership, flying high under Stephen Naismith. Enjoyed a few cup runs in the last couple of years. Runners-up 3 times in the last 5 seasons, but they've not won since that day in 2012 when a certain Ryan McGowan scored.
Say that again, sorry, in case anyone wasn't listening, just quickly.
Hearts high-fiving. Lawrence Shankland imparting some last instructions to his team. They're in all maroon as they normally do in the Scottish Cup. Morton in their green and white hoops. It will be Hearts to get us underway in front of a buoyant Capello. Cammy Devlin with the honours. David Dickinson is your man in black, the man in the middle. He's assisted by Gordon Crawford and Dougie Potter. No VAR this evening. Make of that what you will. A semi-final spot up for grabs, a chance to get back to Hampden. And we are underway as Cammy Devlin rolls it back to Toby Sibbick. The Hearts fans behind the goal to our left-hand side already vociferous in their support. They've made it despite the delays on the trains. By plane, car or automobile, they've made it here. It's Morton who have a throw on the far side in their own half. Of course, it's a vociferous Morton support as well in the cowshed. They even had a tifo before kick-off. A couple of cut-out bed sheets anyway. As the ball is knocked back towards Mullen. Kicks it long, Lembakisa chasing. Not had too much of the ball on the deck so far. It's cut out by Lewis Strapp early on. Crawford on the turn. Gets it to Strapp. He whips the ball into the box. Muirhead's up there. The ball bounces. Got the right wing back, Tyler French trying to keep it in. He does so, but Kingsley takes it off him. Forrest now with the ball for Hearts. Can they counter? No. Miscommunication early on between Beningame and Forrest, but a lively start, and Morton clearly keen to get the ball up the pitch as quickly as possible early on.
Yeah, we thought they would do that, put the ball into the channel, get the wing backs here, and then deliver it in the box, and that's exactly what happened. Gillespie got it wide, I think it was at Lewis Strapp, and then Lewis took one touch and then whipped into the box just over the head of Robin Muirhead. And again, as we said, going from his left back there now, it shows you this is even 40 yards out behind from the he's not even close to the penalty box. He's going to try and launch it, and 3 centre backs are up.
This is a Rory Delap level effort if he gets it into the box. He does so.
It's a great throw.
Shankland is back to head away. Alan Power nods into the sky. Devlin tries to get it away. Hearts trying to get the ball on the deck, but Morton keeping the pressure on. Lembakisa, not the best of clearances, and Beningame has to head away. Power, the ball still in the Morton half. Kirk Broadfoot is the man to get it under control. And Morton just working it back. French back to his goalkeeper Ryan Mullen. I think a few thought Jamie McDonald might recover and start against his far side. No such luck for the 2012 Cup winner. Hasn't recovered from injury in time. Hearts get the ball back in their own half. It's Kai Rolls who launches it long this time. Nodded away by Broadfoot, who is definitely playing at centre back. Morton with certainly looks like a back 3 at the moment. Toby Sibbick on the ball. Hearts with it now. Lembakisa. Lewis Straps putting him under pressure immediately, but he gets the ball away. Hearts are up the right. Devlin inside to Vargas. Poor touch from the Costa Rican, who then clatters Grant Gillespie. And it'll be a free kick to Morton on the edge of their own box.
It's been a good start from Morton. Like we said before the show, they want to get into the ball into the box. They want to win the second balls. Power's already picked up a couple, in the centre of the pitch, and I think that's going to be really important for them. Hearts have just seemed a little bit, the touch has been a little bit off Vargas there, a little bad touch. Over on the far side, knocking the ball out of play. Those little things you don't want to be creeping in, even though it's been 5-10 minutes. But I think Morton would be pretty happy with the start.
It's certainly been a little frantic, and it's Morton who seemed slightly more composed early on. Strapp Nods the free kick on. Muirhead in front of Lembikisa. He wins the free kick as well. And this is a great opportunity for Morton to get the ball back into the box. Robbie Muirhead doing the work, winning the foul off Lembikisa. Morton certainly have their aerial threats.
Yeah, I mean, straight away, the free kick from Broadfoot was played to Lewis Stratton. He's not the biggest, but he's good in the air, and I think he thinks he's going to beat the Vargas, which he did do. And then they picked up that second ball, as you said, from Muirhead. And that's something that I'm sure Stephen Naismith would have said. Don't give away cheap free kicks. You should just allow Muirhead to have it there and just buy some time. But a great chance for Morton to get the ball in the box.
It's Alan Power who stands over the free kick. He'll whip this one in. It's a good ball. It's a dangerous ball. Gordon makes the save. It's still alive and over the bar. Well, that was a fantastic delivery from Alan Power. I'm not sure if anyone got the touch, but Craig Gordon was scrambling in the Hearts goal, and eventually it goes over the bar.
This is exactly the start that Hearts didn't want. You know, getting put under pressure, getting those balls in. Already the centre-backs and midfielders, they were getting that little bit nervous, that little bit, unsure of their touch. It's important that their senior players, George Grant, Lawrence Shanklin, they calm the rest of the team down. And, like we said before the show, Morton want it to be this type of game. They're very good at the second balls, and, so far that's showing.
I think that ended up actually being a Hearts free kick as Craig Gordon tried to chip it out, but Morton again scrapping for the ball. Hearts come out with it this time. Stephen Kingsley chipping it forward, looking for Alan Forrest, yet to really be involved in this game, but it's a good touch on that far side. He doesn't win a free kick, he just concedes the throw. The Hearts look a little rattled early on.
I mean, again, that's exactly what you would expect. I think Stephen Naismith would expect that as well. He knows that, Morton are going to play balls in behind, they're going to get balls in the box, they're going to load it. So they've got to just kind of weather that first 10, 15 minutes and then hopefully get their foot in the ball and show their quality. But yeah, I mean, it's a perfect start as far as Dougie Emery's concerned about his squad. He's getting exactly what he expected from his team. Total commitment.
Hearts and Morton just playing a bit of head tennis in the middle there. Sky Royals gets the ball away. There'll be another throw to Morton. Hearts just cannot get their foot on the ball. It's, as you say, Jim, the perfect start for Morton. Keep it nice and scrappy, make it a horrible game to play, as Doug Emery said through the week. That's the instructions he's given to his player, and he's barking them again on the touchline down in front of us. What a job he's done in the last couple of months with Morton, from looking slightly perilous in the Championship to a playoff place. Unbelievable run, and the ball is now whipped across to Lewis Strapp. He's up against Lembikisa. He doesn't win it, but he does go down in the box. He's holding his knee. Play goes on though, and Lembikisa can eventually get it clear. Maybe a small shout for a penalty, but of course no VAR tonight. Lewis Strapp's still down in the box.
Nah, I think he just landed awkward, and I think he's maybe jarred his knee just as he rolled over the top there. And but again, it just shows you how positive Morton are. I mean, that's the left wing back. They're not hanging back as a 5. The ball's played from the right hand side to the left hand side, and he's pushed all the way up on top of the Hearts full back, putting them under pressure.
Well, Lewis Strapp has certainly had an interesting couple of months. He left Morton in the summer, was on trial at Kilmarnock. He's ended up back in Greenock, and he's now signed a new contract until the end of the season. Jim, you mentioned players they wanted to sell on before the game. I imagine he would have been one of them.
Yeah, when I was here a few years ago, we introduced Lewis in the first team. He was only about 16, 17, and I definitely thought at that time he would be, be one of those players that would move on for a fee. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for him, but I think he's played over 250 games as a Morton player, and I think he's still in his early 20s.
Well, he launches another throw-in towards the box from the halfway line. This one goes all the way out for a goal kick.
So you're taking the credit for bringing them in, are you?
No, I would have taken the credit if I would have sold them for $250,000 or something like that, but not the fact that he's still here. Because I actually genuinely thought, Ryan, because he was almost like an old school left back. He loved the tackle, even when he trained with the first team as a kid. Yourself, young boys, you could see it all the time. Nothing fazed him. The experienced players always tried to pick him in their team if you're playing like small-sided games, because he didn't hang back from a challenge.
Morton have the ball again. It's at Ryan Mullins' feet. He lofts it into the night sky, and it's well won by Stephen Kingsley. Will just go out for a Morton throw deep in their own half in front of an absolutely packed cowshed, it must be said. Very, very good attendance here in Greenock tonight, trying to spur their side on to a Scottish Cup semi-final for the first time since 1981. On that run, They beat Hearts in a third round replay. Will they do the same again tonight? Civic wins the ball near the halfway line, plays it forward. Alan Forrest into the tackle. Hearts just about keeping the ball, and then George Grant is fouled, and Hearts will now have their first real chance to whip the ball into the box and try and test Ryan Mullen in that Morton goal.
Don't mind that, to be honest with you. You know, they're not letting anything drop. They're not letting Hearts players get a touch on the ball. It looks like Civic's got a little bit of a knock in the middle.
And of course, that would be really a bit of a problem for Hearts. Stephen Kingsley could move in to play centre-back, but without Craig Halkett and without Frankie Kent, there's not too many defensive options, certainly in the middle for Hearts.
Good limp in it.
Yeah.
It's quite the limp.
Yeah. And then watch, they'll break and he'll sprint back, isn't it? That's what normally happens. But yeah, I think that the Kingsley header just before, a couple of minutes ago, I think that's probably the first header that Hearts have won, or first second ball that they've picked up. So you know, they need to make sure that they start winning those first and second balls, and this is a good opportunity for them just now.
Certainly is. George Grant will be the man to take Toby Civic, who's made a great recovery. He's running into the box, but the ball is right on top of the keeper, and Ryan Mullen collects it comfortably. A wasted opportunity for the visitors. Stephen Naismith won't be too happy with that early on. That was really their first opportunity to work the Morton defence and work Ryan Mullen in the goal.
Yeah, when you've got the three big centre-halves that Morton have, and you know, maybe Robbie Muirhead getting back there, you have to hit it a bit flatter with a bit of pace on it. You can't just float it in. Keeper's going to come and take it all day. It's got to be really flat with a lot of pace, and go allow your strikers and defenders just to cross.
The difference with Powers won in the first half, in the first sort of 5 minutes. It's a proper delivery into it.
Ryan Mullen ships the ball away. Lembikisa takes a poor touch, and it's a poor pass as well, but Stephen Kingsley will just about pick that up. A really nervy moment for the Hearts right back. Took a touch which Robbie Muirhead almost picked off, and he would have been in behind. He would have been one-on-one with Craig Gordon, but Lembikisa just about recovered. But he has really been targeted early on by Morton.
They're definitely targeting that right side of the Hearts defence, you know, especially with Civic still limping. Muirhead seems to be peeling off to that area, and yeah, it's a slight worry because that was a big chance if it nicked in front of him.
Yeah, I think everybody knows Limbikisa's a better attacking fullback. I mean, that's his strength. His strength is getting forward. He hasn't had the opportunity to show that yet, but he's a very good fullback when Hearts have the ball and when he's going forward, but he's still got to learn the defensive side of it.
Of course, Hearts have switched between a back three and a back four a couple of times this season. It's a back four tonight. That was Lembikisa again chipping the ball forward, and it's gone straight out for a throw. Well, as I say, the injuries to Kent and Halkett have maybe forced Stephen Naismith's hand, although maybe he wanted more attacking options as the favourites in this game. Lembikisa and Atkinson have shared the right back role so far this season.
That is a huge throw that he's got, isn't it? Jesus.
Unbelievable from Lewis Strap.
That's what I said. He's had this since he was 16. He's just one of those things. He's just, you know, it's a great asset to have, particularly like Capello, because it's a tight pitch. You can launch it a mile.
Well, there is Lembikisa showing his attacking qualities. He tries to get the cross in. It comes off Strap, goes out for a throw. Lembikisa has impressed when going forward for Hearts after joining on loan from Wolves. Jamaican international. Gets the ball to Vargas, who's away from Strap. It looked like he was getting his shirt tugged, but David Dickinson points for a corner. Not too many protests from Kenneth Vargas either. George Grant walks across now to deliver another set piece into the Morton area.
Yeah, a little bit better from Hearts there because they get the ball at the feet, and then, you know, a little bit of crossover, and Vargas a little bit of skill. But again, you know, that to me there has to be good delivery here or good movement, because anything just floated in you would expect Morton to deal with comfortably.
He curls it this time, almost avoids everyone. Shanklin gets a heel to it. Mullen punches ahead of Civic. Play goes on. Morton were calling for a free kick there. They're not going to get one, but now Muirhead's up against Lembikisa again, and he batters the ball away. I think, oh, it's still in fact. I thought that had gone over the cowshed as Cammy Devlin keeps it in. Again, Morton launching it forward, going very direct. They've won the ball back. Cammy Blues, I think that is in a, sorry, Robbie Crawford, it was in an offside position, and Hearts take, well, I thought they'd take a little breather. Toby Civic plays it quickly.
Yeah, Robbie Crawford's the one that's trying to get close to Robbie Muirhead, just trying to support him. He's trying to get up there and support as much as he can, and you know, allow the other guys to sit and protect their back line.
Hearts with the ball just inside their own half. Toby Civic, fresh from his first Uganda call-up. He'll travel to Africa later on this month as Cammy Devlin tries to win the ball in the midfield. He loses it though, and Morton get it back down the pitch. Toby Civic, a terrible touch. He just about recovers and knocks it back to Craig Gordon.
Got away with that one, didn't he?
Another nervy moment in the Hearts back line there. Morton quite content to just punt the ball forward and make that Hearts back line work as Benny Beningame gets his foot on the ball. Much better from Hearts. Finds Devlin and then Lembikisa, who has a bit of open room up to Vargas. Devlin offering short. There's Beningame. Not the best pass back to Devlin, who controls with his chest, but Hearts have it high up in the Morton half now. Beningame searches for George Grant. Shanklin making the run in the middle. It's a terrible ball from Grant though. Flies over the back post. Morton let off again.
Yeah, better play from Hearts there, building from the back. I mean, again, as Ryan said, initially it was a missed kick from Civic, but it actually worked in his favour because it allowed him space to get the ball back to Craig Gordon, and then that allowed him to go out the other side and just have that control. The first time they've had 6 or 7 passes up until the final ball there, which was really poor. But better from Hearts. Morton trying to press. That's always a little risky take. If you do that high press and you don't win it, then in that position there, Cammy Devlin was the one that managed to find space and start the attack.
Lewis Strapp was just receiving instructions from the Morton bench there. He's incredibly high up the pitch, even for a left wing back. Hearts have won the ball back now. Civic and Lembikisa offering an option wide, but it just goes back to Kai Rolls. Hearts intend to get the ball on the deck and just wait for an opening now, making the most of Morton pitch, which was receiving plenty of praise before kick-off. Hearts fans to our left-hand side, still backing their team loudly as Lembikisa looks for the ball over the top, trying to find Vargas, trying to get in behind Lewis Strapp. He's done very well there, although the clearance isn't the best. Shanklin lets it run for Devlin. Grant knocks it to Lembikisa, and Shanklin heads for the penalty spot. Lembikisa curling ball to the back post, headed away well by Tyler French, the on-loan Dundee defender, but Hearts have another throw high up in the Morton half, and it's Stephen Kingsley to take.
This is the kind of first little lull from Morton, you know, in terms of the excitement of the game. They were snapping into challenges. It's probably when they're looking for trying to get their second wind and stay in the game. You know, there's different stages of the game, especially in the first half. So they need to make sure the next 5-10 minutes that they're, you know, sharp as much as they maybe can't press as much as they were in the first 10 minutes. They'll be wanting to make sure they keep it tight and don't concede any goals.
Kingsley's throw just comes back to him. He crosses in. It's well away by Kirk Broadfoot. Still 0-0 here at Capello between Morton and Hearts. Just over 15 minutes played as Kai Rolls picks up the ball, tries to find Lawrence Shanklin. I'm trying to search my mind for a Lawrence Shanklin touch, apart from a clearing header he had in the opening stages. I don't think he's had the ball.
Well, he's had a chest layoff and a little flick for the corner, but it's just little flicks. He's not had any time to bring the ball in and bring players in, and that's down to how Morton have played the game and pressed it and made Hearts rush their passes and haven't allowed to pick out their star man so far.
Here's Grant Gillespie, good touch after goal kick, but Strapp's pass is poor and Vargas picks off. He bursts over the halfway line, tries to find Shanklin, but a bit of miscommunication and Morton can pick off. Alan Power gets his head up, looks forward. Crawford just about gets the ball away from Civic. Morton coming forward here. Gillespie, he's got Strapp outside him. Strapp crosses low, Civic can clear. Decent chance that from Morton. They have the ball back. Darrow O'Connor, part of that massive wall of Morton rearguard. Baird, Broadfoot and O'Connor, all well above 6 foot, I'd say. Hearts haven't been able to break that wall so far as Civic and Muirhead wrestle for the aerial ball. No foul given by referee David Dickinson. Hearts have the ball just inside their own half. Stephen Kingsley knocking it back to Kai Rolls. The Hearts defenders getting plenty of early touches as Rolls tries to diagonal out to Lembikisa. Took an awkward bounce. He tried to play it forward. It was dealt with by O'Connor as Devlin and Strapp come together in the air, and it will be a foul to Morton. Devlin flying into that one.
You know, I don't think I'll be surprised if Morton played short here again. You would think that they would get a couple of centre backs up and try and launch it up there towards either Robin Muirhead or one of the centre backs. He kept Broadfoot on his way up, and I think Jack Baird will head up as well. But again, that's fine for Morton. That's the way they want to play. That's their style of play, and they know that they'll maybe not get the calmness, if you want to call it that, and the intricacy of playing through the line. So get up into the final third.
Well, of O'Connor's ball isn't the best. Broadfoot blocked off Vargas. It was almost like an American football move that. The ball came to Lewis Strapp. He was into the box, but by that point, the whistle had gone. David Dickinson blowing for the free kick. A bit of obstruction or blocking there.
A little bit of the dark arts, wasn't it, with the block? I think Broadfoot just made it a little bit too obvious. But yeah, it's a good variation from him. Definitely gives something for Hearts defenders to think about next time, that it's not always going to come launched in. It could get thrown out to the side and then whipped in from a different angle. So you're going to have to be careful of that. But Morton are just going to have to watch with their press. It's a couple of times now that Hearts have strung 5 or 6 passes together and got out of the press, and that's what Morton will be a little bit concerned about at the moment.
39-year-old Kirk Broadfoot using every year of his experience there. Still hasn't won a Scottish Cup, didn't play in 2008 or 2009 for Rangers in their victories. Of course, he is now at Morton. 462 career appearances, I'm told. 1 goal in the Scottish Cup came last season for Open Goal Broomhill, as they were there. He'd love a goal this evening, but at the moment he's doing his defensive duties as Lembikisa works the ball to Beningame, and Hearts just patiently probing every outfield player in the Morton half currently. The ball in the centre circle with Toby Civic as George Grant is caught by Cameron Blue. As the ball comes into the Morton box, Shankland flicks on, it comes back to Beningame. He won't shoot, he goes out to Lembikisa. Not the best touch, he goes left then right. Brilliant little run from Lembikisa, good cross as well. It comes to the back post and it's just about dealt with by Cammy Blues. It will be a Hearts corner on the far side.
Yeah, it's great play from Hearts all in, the build-up play, the patience, and then Lembikisa, who the terrific feint to chop on his left foot, chopped on his right foot, a whipped-in ball. I think maybe Hearts will be lacking a wee bit of support into the box, really.
Yeah, you'd be expecting your sort of midfielders, whether that be Vargas or Forrest, coming in at the back post, even Kingsley, when you're playing in that sort of position, to try and be making that. There's a couple of balls now that have gone into that area, and Morton have been able to clear it pretty comfortably, to be honest.
Morton struggling to clear this one. It comes to Shankland on the edge of the box. He hits with his left. It's over the bar. You cannot gift Lawrence Shankland even a half chance. That wasn't far away at all from the Hearts captain. Just a poor clearance, which he was able to control right on the edge of the box. I'd say maybe on the half volley, just leaning back slightly, a yard or two over the bar.
Yeah, I mean, he's 20 yards out, but these are the type of situations when you're a defender, you're focused on the ball. The ball's not clear, it's ricocheted, it lands it. He's the one guy that's assessing the situation. It did go, over the bar quite comfortably, but it just shows you how dangerous he can be.
Morton just knocking it short initially from that goal kick before. Once again, trying that direct ball. This time, Kai Rolls cuts it out. Hearts taking a while to get into this game, but they're looking a little more comfortable, looking more like the team that have only lost once in 15 outings, albeit quite the defeat to Rangers. 5-0 at Ibrox that ended a 7-game winning run away from home. And want to rely on that away form this evening. Still 0-0 here at Cappielow between Morton and Hearts in the Scottish Cup quarter-final tie. Lewis Strapp has the ball, tries to play it in behind. Robbie Crawford making the run. Strapp then takes it off the toes of Vargas, and this is a chance for Morton now. Strapp finds Crawford. Good touch to get away from the defender, but Hearts get back. It's Vargas, a cheeky nutmeg, but the pass to Grant isn't the best. Vargas still chasing it up though. The ball spins awkwardly and Crawford has it again. Morton in the Hearts half. Strapp on the inside. Power working it round the corner to Grant Gillespie. Back to Lewis Strapp. It's not the best cross. Crawford got the foot on it, but it just came to Lembikisa. It's ball to Grant, who's poor. Cheered by the Morton fans. And Hearts, when they're on the back foot, just don't look that confident.
It's definitely where Morton are getting all the joy from. They're really targeting that. As much as he's put some good balls into the box for Hearts, he's really struggled with Strapp overlapping and Muirhead, Crawford peeling over to that area, and yeah, that's something that Naismith might be a little bit wary of, and these little short throw-ins are quite good because it brings a different angle of attack.
That's French who launches the diagonal. It's headed back in. Muirhead chests it down. Morton can't quite get the ball to sit as Jack Berg fouls Benny Beningame, and he will go into the book. A foul right on the edge of the Hearts box. Maybe not necessarily one he needed to make as Beningame cleared, and Baird is the first man in David Dickinson's little black book?
I think it's a harsh yellow, I have to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, he's put his foot up and he's shown his studs, but to me, I don't think he made any connection with Beningame, so I think he's just one of those ones. A centre-half, he's out of position, he's just trying to put a block on so he can get himself back into his natural position, and even Beningame didn't make any issue at all. David Dickinson was a little bit quick getting the yellow card out. If you look at the game so far, there's not really been a tackle in it, so it's not, to me, I think he could have let that go quite comfortably, just give him a little warning.
Jack Baird now on a bit of a tightrope, especially with the Hearts attackers on the pitch. Alan Forrest, Kenny Vargas, particularly tricky wingers. And then, of course, there's the small matter of Lawrence Shankland as well. It will be a Morton throw-in. This is inside their own half. I'm just checking to see if the centre-backs are going forward. No, not quite from here. Although Strap will launch it long. Well into the Hearts half as Muirhead goes up against Civic. It's Lenda Kisa with the header away. Grant. Well, it's Gillespie who closes him down, and Grant then fouls it.
That's so good from a Morton point of view. Getting the pressure on there, Gillespie, captain leading as an example, you know, not letting Grant take the ball down and play a ball into the channel. Gets the pressure on, wins the ball, and then he's clever enough just to feel that little nudge in the back. He gets himself a really good position for a free kick.
Sorry, Ryan, I think Grant, in particular, Grant, I think he's getting a wee bit of a different kind of football education down here. I think he's not used to this type of football. He's wanting a wee bit extra half yard all the time. He's not going to get that Capello. It's a tight pitch. Morton are going to rat you from the first minute to the last minute. I think he's got to up his game, up his tempo, and sharpen his game up completely, because to me he's nowhere near Lawrence Shankland. He's not getting involved in the game enough. And I think Hearts really need much more from the likes of him and the other front players.
Will be Power to take the free kick after a bit of gamesmanship. It almost looks like he's gone for goal. Ends up comfortably in Craig Gordon's arms. Rolls out to Stephen Kingsley. His Hearts again just try and play it out from the back, and Kai Rolls just about manages to turn away from Robbie Muirhead. Composed in the end from the Australian international. Hearts bringing the ball up to the halfway line, and that's what they want to do. They just want to keep their foot on the ball, wait for a way through this Morton defence. Got back in shape very quickly, it must be said, as Devlin picks the ball up. First start in quite a while for Cammy Devlin after coming back from injuries. Been unable to force his way into the team, but benefiting with the injury to Callum Neuvenhoff, who's enjoyed a really impressive couple of weeks after maybe a slightly slower start to life at Hearts. Still a very young player, of course, as Shankland comes back. He wants a touch of the ball on the halfway line. Hearts just knocking it around again as Kai Rolls comes forward and tries to chip over the top, looking for Forrest. Comes down to Kingsley. That second ball is picked up again by Morton. Tyler French inside. Crawford. Devlin picks up. This could be a chance. Vargas out to Shankland on the right. Tries the ball for Forrest. It's not the best, but Forrest brings it down. Can he find a man in maroon? Can he work an opening himself? It's deflected just wide. It will be a Hearts corner. That rippled the side netting. Dangerous opportunity for Hearts after they won the ball back.
Yeah, again, Lawrence Shankland just dropping off into that kind of like a deeper position. He sometimes does that, and that allows Forrest to make the run. The likes of Forrest and Vargas in particular, I think that they've been maybe too wide at times, allowing Morton to stay, in their shape. If they come in a little bit, allow the fullbacks to go, get a little bit more joy.
Ball whipped in, Ryan Mullen comes for it. He does get the punch on it. It's not a bad one either. Benny Beningame under pressure from Robbie Muirhead, trying to twist and turn his way past the striker. He ends up going back to Civic. And then Cammy Devlin. Hearts looking to work an angle to try and get that cross back into the box. But I think they might have to admit defeat. Benny Beningame just working it back to Kai Rolls, and the two centre halves are back around the centre circle. Rolls to Beningame. Lenda Kisa has room on the right. He takes his time though, finds Forrest instead. Every Morton player behind the ball now. They're camped outside their box as Shankland turns away from O'Connor and finds Rolls. Some centre-halves might be tempted to shoot. He just passes to Forrest in the box. Hearts threatening here. Kingsley crosses to the front post, headed away by Baird, and then Blues gets the extras. Rolls doing really well to get the ball around the corner. Lemba Kisa trying to chip it in. Gillespie gets the block, but Hearts still trying to work it. Grant trying to get the ball down to Devlin, and eventually Morton gets it clear. On the ropes for a second or two there, and they've survived ducked and dodged and got their way out of trouble.
Yeah, well, that's what we're talking about. And you know, when getting Forrest in that pocket and allows Kingsley to get on the overlap, and he's got a great left foot, whips it in. But terrific defending from Jack Baird, got himself in a really good position in that front post as the middle centre back does, and you know, managed to clear the danger. But better from Hearts because of an advanced position and getting their full backs up there, giving them that extra 2v1 situation against a back five.
Here's Shanklin now trying to get the ball behind for Grant. It was Kirk Broadfoot who cut out and did well to try and work the ball up to Robbie Muirhead. Up against Toby Civic, and he gets the better of him. Eventually Civic does well though to win it back.
I think that's where Morton's missing Oakley up there. You know, he's a big presence, he's a big boy. You know, he's someone that can hold the ball up, can just bring Morton out the pitch, maybe win a foul, keep possession, and you know, like we said on the top of the show, he's a big miss for them and one that they seem to be struggling without.
Yeah, absolutely. As we said at the start of the programme, Ryan, although Robbie Muir is a big lad, big physical lad, it's not his natural style to be back into centre-backs. He likes to play off them. You've got Oakley and Tim up there. Oakley takes, you know, most of the weight and he can play off them, and he's a terrific, as you said, scored 14 goals this year. Yeah. But it's just, you know, it's just
not his game.
Not
it's
his natural game.
Yeah.
He likes to play just in the periphery of the centre-backs in and around them.
Well, Hearts have worked the ball up the right-hand side. All the action seems to be happening down in front of us. It was a good pass from Cammy Devlin that really sparked that. Lewis Strapp had to make a block as Hearts worked the ball on the edge of the Morton area. It's Lembakisa trying to cross. It could come to Shanklin on the turn. Ryan Mullen makes the save. Brilliant from the former Celtic youngster Shanklin, just swivelling to drive that towards the bottom corner, but Mullen was alert to the danger and parried it behind for a corner.
It's a great bit of play. Like we said, Shanklin's not had much to do, but he just needs that half a little yard. Also, I like that he always gets it on target. So, yeah, what's that? 35 minutes played and sort of the first main chance on goal.
Corner comes in, Kai rolls.
This is a big issue for Hearts.
But Morton on the counter. Muirhead almost doing brilliantly behind Strapp, but Cammy Devlin back to cut out as Shanklin collects the ball in the midfield. Well, there was an opportunity there for Morton to counter. Robbie Muirhead almost finding Lewis Strapp, and if that ball had just been a little better, a little further in front of him, Strapp would have been in there. He would have had a long way to go, mind you.
Yeah, it was a perfect situation though for Morton, the counter-attack from a Hearts corner. Robbie Muirhead just didn't quite execute the pass.
Well, Hearts back into the box first, working onto his right, going low, almost all the way in. A deflection that takes it inches past Ryan Mullen's left-hand post. He looked a lot more comfortable than a lot of the Morton fans in front of us. I think they might have thought that was trickling in. But another chance for Hearts in quick succession. And as we say, Ryan, that's probably the biggest chances that Hearts have had in this entire game.
They're just slowly ramping up the pressure, aren't they? And again, like we said, Oakley up there, you know, Robbie Muirhead does well to hold it up, but then gives the ball away, and it gives Hearts another opportunity. If you have Oakley up there, you know, has that sort of bit of a chubbier appearance, you can hold it up a little bit more, and you know, could definitely get Morton just even 5 minutes breathing space and get him out of the 18-yard box.
Well, Grant's outswinger is again headed away, this time by Robbie Crawford. He gets the ball back in though. I think that might have been shouldered away in the end by Jack Baird. Hearts trying to keep up the pressure. George Grant with the ball back on the halfway line as Morton sit in for another long night of defending as Beningame comes forward. Stephen Kingsley and Alan Forrest now on that left touchline. He's keen to jink inside again, finds Grant. Really poor touch from George Grant, but Alan Forrest picks up the straight pass from Tyler French. Morton unable to get their foot on the ball in the last few minutes as it's worked in. Broadfoot reads the bounce of the ball well before Strapp gets it forward. Looking for Muirhead, a little shove on Civic, but Kai Rolls picks up.
I think from a Morton point of view, they just need to get into half-time. You know, they're hanging on a little bit at the moment, but you know, I think if they can get to half-time at 0-0, then they'll be pretty happy with that.
Of course, they are missing that goal-scoring threat of only 12 goals this season. Robbie Muirhead actually has 14 this season. 41 in total for Morton. He's been here a long time now, Robbie Muirhead. Still only 27. It feels like he's been on the scene for ages.
It was at Hearts as a youngster, wasn't he, Robbie?
I played with him at Dundee United, actually, and then he went to Hearts, I'm sure.
Hearts for 6 months under Robbie Nielsen, scored 2 goals against Rangers before Robbie Nielsen took him to MK Dons. And Ian Cathro came in at Hearts. Not a spell that those Hearts fans will remember.
Hearts fans shudder everywhere, don't they, when they hear that name?
you know, if you look at the game so far, I mean, Ryan Mullen's dealing with that one save from Lawrence Shankland, a little bit when it was deflected, as you say, just past the post. But I think Dougie Emile will be delighted the fact that he's kept you know, Hearts quiet, and particularly Lawrence Shankland's that one chance which you would expect. But other than that, you know, they've defended very, very well, and always been a little bit of a threat in the counter attack, although Craig Gordon hasn't had a save yet.
Civic clears the ball from the Hearts box. Morton just doing their best in the last minute or two to try and launch balls forward. There's Power and Devlin collide in the middle, but it's a good challenge, although Devlin is now down holding his knee. Well, he's limping about as Morton try and play on. Darragh O'Connor can't keep that in, instead launches it into the Hearts fans. Power just with a little slap on the back to Cammy Devlin. That was a full-blooded 50-50.
That was one that they both loved, didn't it? You could see their eyes light up. Power and Devlin.
Devlin loved it. He's the one that loved it. I think it was one of those ones that normally, you know, referees will give a free kick even though he wins the ball because he's went in so aggressively. But I think it was more a clash of knees. He's won the ball and then the two knees have clashed. But yeah, I think Cammy Devlin will struggle off.
Hearts with the throw. Lembikisa trying to get it away, but Darragh O'Connor wins it, and Morton forward again. It's a poor touch from Lewis Strapp, and it just goes out for a goal kick. But there's just these little rare moments from Morton. They're able to get forward, they're able to threaten that Hearts line and put them under a bit of pressure.
Even if you just look at the two left backs, I've not once mentioned Kingsley being in the forward area putting a cross in, and we've mentioned numerous times Strapp getting up there trying to beat you know, the Hearts back line, getting balls into the box. And yeah, like I said, if he gets the 0-0 at half time, Morton can sort of regroup a little bit and come out in the second half a little bit more refreshed. Then, you know, they never know. They can just take a mistake, a couple of, you know, loose headers here and there, and they get an opportunity and they take it. It can totally change the game.
I don't know if it's because Stephen Kingsley's been playing left centre back a lot, you know, over the last little while. You know, Coughlin's normally been playing out there, but I mean, his natural position is as a left back, but he just seems to be a little bit conservative, Ryan, in terms of, you know, supporting Alan Forrest.
And the ball comes forward for Alan Forrest now. He's into the box, takes it down really well, playing with much more confidence as he tries to get the ball into the box. It goes behind for another Hearts corner, but George Grant's deliveries so far have left a little to be desired for Hearts.
Yeah, as I said, I think, listen, it's difficult, as I said, they've got to try and be a little bit more inventive as we're trying to do something short and quick here.
It's Forrest on the ball. He doesn't manage to get the ball into the box. They did try something different. It certainly didn't come off though, as Robbie Muirhead chases. Morton again threatening slightly on the counter. This time the ball just out of reach for Robbie Muirhead. But Morton have really offered a threat from the set-piece. Hearts not so much. They've had plenty of corners, plenty of opportunities to whip the ball into the box, but the Morton rearguard has dealt with it comfortably all night.
Yeah, but as I mentioned, if you've got, you know, three big centre-backs, the Strapp's good in there, French is a tall lad, you know, Hearts are probably thinking there's no point in just throwing a hopeful ball into the box. We need to try and be a little bit, you know, inventive and try and come up with a wee bit of creativity. So far that hasn't been the case, but in general play, they've certainly, after the first 15 minutes, they've controlled most of it, but without really troubling Ryan Mullen.
As we near half-time, still 0-0 between Morton and Hearts here at Capello. As Kai Rolls knocks the ball back to Craig Gordon. There's been quite a few 0-0s in Morton's recent history. During that unbeaten run, they drew 0-0 with Queen's Park at Hampden. They're desperate to get back to. They also drew 0-0 with Wraith Rovers, their final game in that 16-game unbeaten run. The best run since 1980. In fact, I think they beat that record from 1980. As Hearts win the ball back, Strapp, play goes on. It's out to Devlin, trying to curl the ball in. It bounced and it came through to Ryan Mullen. A little bit of an awkward one. Kenny Vargas wanted the foul. Lewis Strapp, David Dickinson played the advantage, allowed the ball to come in, deflected straight into the arms of Ryan Mullen.
Yeah, down the corner, get a little sort of block on it, took the sting off it, and just you know, nice and comfortable for Ryan Mullen. Again, you know, they were delighted. You know, defensively they've been outstanding so far. Morton, and as you mentioned, if they can get to half-time 0-0, then Hearts might just get a little bit nervous in the second half.
Of course, Hearts were pushed all the way by Spartans in their first cup outing this season. It was Frankie Kent's 92nd minute winner that eventually got them through to the next round. We'll be hoping to do the business a little bit earlier than that this evening. Remains goalless as Benny Beningame is under pressure from Crawford. A little too much pressure, says referee David Dickinson. It's a foul.
But I think as players, you sometimes see when you're out on the pitch, you sense players want that extra touch. They want to be a little bit more comfortable. And I think the Morton players have picked up on Beningame and Grant especially, that they want to take that extra touch. They want to try and dictate the game. And when those two get the ball, you can see Morton players thinking, we can catch him here. We can get a little tackle in there. And that's something that Naismith's going to have a word with them at half-time.
Lembikisa getting the ball forward to Cammy Devlin. Gets it back. Jinks away from Gillespie before firing the cross in. Was on the edge of the 18-yard line and was well headed away by Morton. The ball now bouncing around on the halfway line. Beningame getting it back under control. A lot has been made of Lawrence Shankland's contract situation. Benny Beningame in contract talks as well. With Hearts, he could leave in the near future for free, which I don't think Stephen Naismith would be too happy about at all. He's become, once again, since recovering from injury, a key part of that Hearts midfield.
Key part, but he's not Lawrence Shankland.
He'd be sorting that one out before Beningame.
But if there's any extra pounds to get around, they'll be going to the captain.
Big chance, yeah.
Big chance for Morton. Muirhead on the attack. He likes them from distance. He got that one all wrong. Just sliced off his left boot. Well, Robbie Muirhead, he is known for a long-range screamer, but that's certainly one to forget.
I think he's seen his name in lights in the line, didn't he?
He got super excited, didn't he? But yeah, again, Strap, being aggressive, pressing, catching them on the ball, and I think from a Morton point of view, all of their chances or half chances that they've had is from Hearts being slack on the ball. But at the same time, the times that Morton haven't or have tried to play passes and they've been cut out, that's when Hearts have been able to sort of open them up. They've not been able to open them up from goalkeeper all the way through. So I think if you're Dougie Imrie, you're saying that to the defenders. I think he just gave an earfeel to O'Connor for not putting his foot through the ball and getting it up there, because anytime that they do lose the ball, Hearts seem to be able to cut them open.
Well, a long ball forward, almost causing confusion in the Hearts backline, but Craig Gordon desperate to come out and get a touch of the ball. He's not had too much to do in this first half. Just needs to keep that communication up with Toby Civic and Kai Rolls, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really disappointed with Hearts. I mean, listen, it's all about getting through. You've the semi-final. If they manage to get through, then great. But I just think that they've been so passive. I just don't think that they've really grasped where they are in the type of game that Morton are playing, and they certainly haven't adjusted to it. And Morton, I think, are the team that can take all the credit for the first half, even though it's still 0-0. I think that Morton will be absolutely thrilled with the way that they've managed to control Hearts, and keep them away from their goal.
And will that frustrate Stephen Naismith, because obviously he's a player who's played in these kind of games before. He's no stranger to it. I'm sure he will have imparted that message to his players before the game kicked off, but it doesn't seem like some of them have really understood what he was saying.
It feels like a lot of the players are unsure of whether they're going long, whether they're coming short. You've got a couple of midfielders trying to get on the ball, then you've got Rolls playing the longer one over the top. They're just a little bit disjointed. They don't have that fluency that they've had throughout the season. And I think Naismith will want his team in at half-time to try and get that, whether they're going to decide. Even there, Kingsley's just played it out the pitch. He thinks Forrest is running, he's going to come short. Shankland's in the middle of the pitch throwing his arms about. They just seem a little bit rattled. They seem a little bit unsure of, are they going to mix it with Morton? Are they going to try and play football? And at the same time, Morton, like I said at the start of the game, are winning first headers, are winning second headers, are really putting the Hearts back four under a lot of pressure, which is they're not, as much as they're dealing with it, they still do look a lot, really nervous when that ball comes in.
Well, here comes another long ball. It's Jack Baird with it, looking for Lewis Strapp, and he wins the header brilliantly of Lembikisa, and then Rolls did likewise, getting in ahead of Robbie Muirhead. It's been a real battle between Robbie Muirhead and the two Hearts centre-halves so far this evening. The ball comes to Cameron Blues on the far touchline in the Hearts half. It was Tyler French who made the run, and he will get the ball now. Morton trying to work the opportunity. Muirhead, no foul. In fact, it is a foul. David Dickinson with a late peep of the whistle, and a booking for Cammy Devlin, the first of the night for Hearts. Great opportunity this for Morton.
Yeah, again, Cammy Devlin's not complaining too much. I mean, I didn't see too much in it, but David Dickinson's obviously been consistent. He's, two relatively soft free kicks and giving both players a booking. Jack Baird earlier on, and now Cammy Devlin. But again, as Ryan was saying, they're picking the second ball up, getting it forward, having a little flick, although he cleared it. They managed to again, pick up the scraps, and an opportunity now. You know, whether it looks as if Robbie Muirhead's going to fancy this, it's a fair distance out. You would have maybe some strike to beat.
After his last effort, you'd be saying to him, get away.
I think Robbie Muirhead has this in the locker.
Yeah, he fancies this one.
He has scored some wonderful goals through his career. I remember one for, it was the Scotland under-19s, flew in from about 40 yards out. This is maybe about 30. Craig Gordon is aware of the threat as Muirhead goes for it. He curls it low, it bounces straight into Craig Gordon's chest. Didn't quite catch that one how he wanted Robbie Muirhead, but it draws applause from the Morton fans in front of us. And although maybe the quality of football on show hasn't been the best, the atmosphere here at Catalo tonight has been absolutely fantastic.
Well, I mean, the game plan is exactly the way Dougie Imrie wants it. You know, he's not wanting a silky soccer football match. He's wanting a cup tie, old-fashioned cup tie Catalo, and that's exactly what he's getting from his players. And then, you know, that's the first shot on target from Morton. But again, you know, listen, you're against an absolute world-class goalkeeper. You know, you need to be something ultra special to beat him from that distance. But you know, the onus is on Hearts to lift their standards and you know, lift their performance levels, because so far it's been very underwhelming.
1 minute of added time to come, still 0-0 here at Catalo between Morton and Hearts as Kenneth Vargas tries to work that round the corner. Lawrence Shanklin, who is cutting an extremely frustrated figure up top for Hearts as Kai Rolls and Toby Civic knock it around again. I don't think anyone will have had as many touches as those two tonight.
I think that's where Hearts will be disappointed, is when it's gone up to those forward areas, the amount of times that one of the front three have flicked it around the corner and given it the ball away. You just want your players to take a touch. If they take a hit, you get a free kick, similar to what the Morton players do.
This could be a chance as Kenneth Vargas is in behind. He's away from O'Connor. He tries to find Shanklin. The ball had far too much power on it. Shanklin controls it a second time of asking Kingsley. Crosses to the back post. Mullen didn't know where that was. It was cut back, but I think the ball may have already gone out. It was Kenneth Vargas. I think he kneed it back to Shanklin, who then kneed it wide. Either way, the ball ends up in the Morton fans behind the goal, and Morton can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, well, Stephen Kingsley would advance this time there. You know, he gets the ball from Shanklin and, you know, plays a deep cross. I don't think it's an ideal cross, a little bit too much air in it. But again, in the kind of blind side, you know, Lewis Straff and Vargas almost got to it, but the ball had just drifted out. And, you know, again, just running down to half time. So Dougie Imrie will be absolutely thrilled if his team can just hold out these extra few minutes, a minute or so.
It's Mullen who goes long. Can we have a goal before half-time to really ignite this cup tie? As Strapp on the turn gets away from Vargas. Brilliant from Lewis Strapp, but tried to go past Vargas again and just did too much. Dougie Imrie furious on the touchline below us. Hearts win the ball back. Devlin to Beningame. Hearts coming forward over the halfway line. Just slows up slightly though. Ball comes back to Kingsley. David Dickinson's up with play. He's not quite looking. In fact, he is. David Dickinson blows for half-time. The Morton fans on their feet in front of us. They're delighted with what they've seen so far. They've frustrated Hearts all evening so far. And at half-time here at Catalo in the final Scottish Cup quarter-final of the round, it is Greenock Morton 0, Heart of Midlothian 0.
The Scottish Cup.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Where Scottish football lives.
That was really the vehicle, I think, that kind of kick-started Simple Minds in Australia.
Simple Minds enjoyed success down under before anywhere else in the world.
People just took to us instantly, and we took to the country.
Join me, Billy Sloan, over 40 years on, as I follow the band on tour in Australia. I find out why this love affair has stood the test of time.
Every time I see them, they get better.
And bring you exclusive live tracks as the band perform at the country's most iconic venue.
Sydney Opera House, to start a tour there, you know, we had a dream come true.
Billy Sloan. Listen now on BBC Sounds.
We're live from Catalo this evening. The remaining Scottish Cup quarter-final half-time. Morton 0, Hearts 0. A reminder, at the end of this game, we will bring you the draw for the semi-finals live on Sports, and Ryan McGowan and Jim Duffy alongside me here. Jim, you were saying there, again, we'll be delighted with that first half performance. I was just looking at some of his reactions there. Lewis Strapp looks to me a player that's got all the potential, but very frustrating at times. It was just right at the end of the half there. He had the chance to put the ball in the box. He tried to beat another man, and Dougie Imrie was going nuts down below us.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's the decision making that can move you from a good level to the top level, and and maybe that's the wee thing that's held Lewis back, that wee bit of decision making. But the one thing he has done is he's been unbelievably positive. He's worked up and down that left side tirelessly right throughout that 45 minutes. We know he's got the long throw, we know he's got that competitive attitude, but he's also been an outball for Morton at times, and it's just that little final ball, final link up. But again, we go back, they're missing key players in those areas, and that's something that they were probably always going to be. So the one thing that Dougie said, listen, let's be difficult to beat, let's be organised, let's make sure we have that total commitment, that structure about us, and they've done that magnificently well in the first half. I mean, Ryan Mullen has one reasonable save from Lawrence Shankland's effort. You would expect him to save it, but other than that, he's largely untroubled. And I think Dougie will be in there asking for the same again. Can they keep that tempo up? Can they keep that hunger and that energy of closing Hearts down for the next 45 minutes? Time will tell. But if they can, then there's an upset definitely on the cards, Kenny.
Yeah, just looking at the possession, Ryan, Hearts 62%, the home side 38%, just one shot on target for each side. What have you made of the Hearts performance that first 45?
I think probably Civic and Rolls passing it to each other has got 45% of that possession. It's been very slow. If you just look at that last minute, Craig Gordon gets the ball, throws it out, they get to sort of 30-40 yards out, and then it's back again, and it allows Morton to get back into their shape, to get into their structure. And like we said on air, too many times the ball's gone up to the Hearts forwards and they try to flick it around the corner, they try to do it one touch instead of just top players take a touch, pass it, then move. They keep doing that continuously. They don't flick ones around the corner. They don't try and do something special. They do it on the odd occasions, but they don't do it as much as the Hearts forwards have been doing this evening.
Yeah, I think Alan Forrest has looked fairly dangerous down the left-hand side there, and Strapp down the left-hand side for the home team as well has offered certainly a bit of a threat there, and that throw is something incredibly, I have to say.
It's incredible, isn't it?
What a weapon that is.
As I was saying in the commentary, he genuinely had that when he was 16, because when he came in at first he was playing youth football obviously, and then a couple of times, and you play in youth pitches, you can almost throw it way beyond the back pit.
Practice it, Jim. I mean, is it to say you just practice it?
Yeah, of course. Yes. Listen, if you've got that asset, as I said, Capel's a tight pitch, and if you can get that ball into the box, it's a little flick, you can't be offside from a throw-ins, all those type of things. It's such an advantage to get it. I mean, again, some managers absolutely detest it and think it should be banned from football, long throw-ins, but it certainly brings excitement and drama, and you don't need to overthink it. You get about 40 yards for the goal, you get the wee man up with an absolute launch he's got and say, right, get it in the mixer, and it can cause chaos.
It's the one drying down here from the defensive positions that really.
He's in line with his own 18-yard box and he's getting it past the halfway line. I can't kick it that far, let alone throw it.
But that's the thing, it gets you out the trouble. I mean, if you're stuck in your corner flag, teams normally hem you in. He's thinking, stand up there if you want, I'll float to the halfway line, and it's I mean, I know it's simple, but it's very, very effective.
Yeah, the best chance of the game fell to Lawrence Shankland just on the turn. You'd have to say it was a decent save from Ryan Mullen in the home goal, but that's been a bit of it here at Capello. Certainly not matched the drama we've had across the weekend. My goodness, what a game. We kicked off with Vittori, and then the news that followed that with Neil Warnock leaving his position as interim manager of Aberdeen. A really good game at Celtic Park yesterday. Livingston gave a very good account of themselves, but in the end Celtic's class just shone through and they booked their place in the draw for the semi-finals. And what a game we had at Easter Road yesterday. So much drama, so many contentious issues in that one. Rangers coming out victors in that. Just a reminder, we have got Rangers in Europe. That is on Thursday night. We're running at 5 o'clock. It's a 5:45 start. Rangers at home to Benfica, so join us for that one. Just looking at the options, Jim, you spoke about the lack of options for Dougie Emery. If he is looking to make a change later on in this game, what options does he have there?
Well, he doesn't much. I mean, if Callum Waters is a left back, obviously, and Lewis McGrattan's a midfield player, Michael Garrity. I mean, I don't know the boy, young Jack Bairn's come in. I'm thinking maybe a striker, but they don't have. I mean, we can see here the players that have came through the youth system. And they're talented players, but again, get into a game like this would be, are they going to change the dynamics of the game? I would think it'd be unlikely.
Right, we'll come back to this. The draw for the semi-finals of the Men's Scottish Cup to come right now in sports. I'm going to bring you the draw for the semis of the Women's Scottish Cup with Jim Leighton and Jane Lewis.
Final draw is coming your way here this evening. The women's draw is to come, and we are in safe hands because this man right here is going to be conducting proceedings. Former Aberdeen, Manchester United, and of course Scotland goalkeeper Jim Leighton. Jim, lovely to see you. Thanks very much for joining us. Before we get to the draw, what do you make of that first half?
It's been a tough cup tie. Morton have made it very difficult for Hearts early on. The longer the game was going, Hearts were starting to be a bit more dominant without creating a lot of chances. But the way the game's going, it's going to be a long second half for Morton, I think. Yeah, neither side really laying a glove on each other yet in the first half. In the second half, do you expect much of the same? I think that's down to the way Morton have made it very difficult. But I think it's going to be difficult for them to continue that for the whole 90 minutes. And I think it's going to be a long half for them. Let's get down to business, shall we? Up for it? Let's have a look at how these sides progress to the semi-finals of this cup. They're the scores from the quarter-finals at the weekend. You can see Celtic were 6-0 winners away to Montrose. There was a narrow win for Hearts over Partick Thistle. Rangers beat Hibs by 6-2, and Spartans won through with a 5-0 win over Livingston. Confirmation then of the teams that are in the hat for this one, and there are the numbers if you're looking out for them. Celtic are number 1, number 2 Heart of Midlothian, number 3 Rangers, and number 4 is Spartans. Jim, are we ready? Let's go. Okay. Give the balls a good old shugle. Number 3. Rangers first out the hat, runners up last season. They beat Hibs to get here. They will play number 1. They will play Celtic, an old firm Scottish Gas Women's Scottish Cup semi-final, the cup holders, of course. Number 4. That's Spartans, of course, beat Livingston to get here. They last made a cup final in 2014, and they will play, all things being equal, number 2. They will play Hearts, the first time this stage of the semi-final of these Scottish Cups. Let's just recap then, shall we? An old firm semi-final Scottish Cup tie to come. Rangers against Celtic, Spartans against Hearts is your other semi-final. They will be played, of course, at the National Stadium at Hampden Park over the weekend of the 27th and the 28th of April. Jim, thank you very much for that. Don't go away, though. We're working you hard, of course, this evening. We'll be back for the men's semi-final draw, and we might just take a trip down memory lane for you as well. Thank you very much. Join us.
Thanks to Jane Lewis and Jim Leighton there. So Rangers against Celtic, Spartans against Hearts in the semi-finals of the Women's Scottish Cup. A reminder, when this game is done and dusted, we will bring you the draw live on Sportsound for the semi-finals of the Men's Scottish Cup. So stay tuned for that one. In terms of Hearts, what will Stephen Naismith Ryan be saying to these players in the dressing room now, and what changes will he be contemplating?
I think he'll be saying to get the ball forward quicker. I think they've been too safe as such, passing it side to side, not really penetrating. And when they do penetrate, they seem to come back, and they come all the way back to the centre-backs. It's all well and good probing, but if you can get into it in and around the 8-yard box and come back, you can just go to your midfielders. That's why they're there. They can keep the ball higher up the pitch. I'd like to see Macaulay Tate come on. He's a very good young player, one that the club has really high hopes for, and he is very, very good at that sort of role in terms of getting his foot on the ball and playing those, it's only 10-15 yard passes forward, but just getting that tempo that Hearts need to get much higher if they want to go on and create more chances and score goals.
Sometimes, Jim, Scottish football gets a bad press in terms of quality, but my goodness, week in, week out, the drama is incredible. I think back to last Saturday and all the action in the Premiership with that fantastic win for Motherwell at Ibrox, the late drama, Aberdeen going down in Paisley, and then of course the Scottish Cup quarter-finals on Saturday. And just when you think you've seen it all, a great performance from Aberdeen, probably the best under Neil Warnock. And then we start to get news just a couple of minutes after the final whistle that he had left his position, and I'm told he notified the board of that earlier in the week. It's an incredible situation there, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're talking about sometimes the quality on the field, but I think we we're harsh on our game here. You know, I've seen many games that, you know, people focus on the big games down south. There's many games that are lacking in quality and they've spent hundreds of millions of pounds. And I think that sometimes we underplay our game. But the one thing that's never short of, Kenny, is talking points and drama.
We love it.
There's absolutely always talking points and drama. But just when you think, it might be a quiet week, something really comes up, as you say, in the Neil Warnock situation. I mean, like everyone else, I was unbelievably surprised when he was appointed. You know, but for me, I think Aberdeen had and have to make a positive decision on their manager to give them their fans optimism for next year. I mean, football's a business. You've got season tickets to sell. You know, you've got targets to try and bring in. You've got to improve the squad. Aberdeen have probably got, you know, a minimum top 4 target every season. And if they, you know, they're not matched that this year, so you know they have to improve significantly for next year, and all of those plans have to get underway way in advance of the summer coming up. And you know, so to me, get a new manager appointed. You know, give it the fanfare that you know you want it to give it all the publicity, give it all the positivity, get the fans behind you. That'll help the team this year, because the fans then will say, right, okay, we'll get behind Peter leaving if it's Peter at the end of the season or whatever, and then you know we can look forward with real optimism next year. But they need to do that, and I think Dave Comet has to get it right this time. You know, there's been, I think, was it, you know, 3 managers: Stephen Glass, Barry Robson, obviously Jim Goodwin, and now you know, Neil Warnock, and you know, nothing's quite clicked for Aberdeen. So this is a huge decision for the Aberdeen chairman and the Aberdeen board. They have to get this one right.
Yeah, they say the man will be in place, Ryan, for the international break. I just wonder from a player's perspective. I'm told that the players knew before the game that Neil Warnock was leaving after the final whistle. I mean, what would that do? Does that affect a player at all, or?
I'm not sure. It would kind of depend on your relationship that you had with him.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't. I don't think he was in the door long enough to have a massive relationship with any of the players. But like Jim said, it's a massive call at the moment to bring somebody in. But on the flip side, you know, you look with the games that they have still to play. Realistically, they'll be in the bottom 6. There's every chance that they could go win, you know, 7 or 8 games between now and the end of the season, and that real feel-good factor comes back to the club, and it can, you know, sort of kickstart them for next season, which is what they want to do for a club the size of Aberdeen.
Yeah, we'll have more on this on Sports Sound on Saturday, and a reminder, European action for you on Thursday. Rangers at home to Benfica. It's a 5:45 start. Sports Sound on air at 5 o'clock, so join us for that. And also a reminder, we will have the draw for the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup right after this game. Will it be Morton? Will it be Hearts? So we'll join Aberdeen, Celtic and Rangers in the hat for that. We will find out in the next, hopefully, 45 minutes or so. But of course, this one could go to extra time and penalties. Both sides are now back out. So I'll hand you back to your commentary team of Jim Duffy, Ryan McGowan and Andrew Petrie.
Welcome back. Yes, the Morton players finally joining the Hearts players out on that Capello pitch. The Jambo's out just a little bit sooner. Maybe Stephen Naismith sending a message. No changes by the looks of it for either side at the break. We certainly think Morton will be much happier. They've managed this game better. They've made it uncomfortable for the visitors. The tactics, frankly, have been spot on. Hearts have been so frustrated. But what will the second half bring? David Dickinson gets us underway, and Morton do what they did in that first half and just get it long, looking for Lewis Strapp. It's going to be a really interesting 45 minutes. Will we have even more if the scores stay the same? Of course we will. Still 0-0 as Alan Forrest tries to get it onto Lawrence Shanklin. Hearts looking to make a quick start, but it's Morton on the ball early on. Muirhead flicks on Civic with the touch. Gets it forward to George Grant. Beningame over the halfway line. Forrest wants the ball, but it goes to Kingsley instead. Poor touch from the Scotland international to Forrest, and rolls. And very quickly, this second half is taken up a position much like the first, although Robbie Crawford almost nicked that pass away from Kai Rolls, but Hearts content just to knock it around at the moment. Really patient as Morton sit in and try and frustrate. Rolls trying the diagonal to absolutely nobody, and that's really a bit of a picture of the first half and the first few stages of the second.
It's literally what we said at the end of the second half. They seem to play 4 or 5 passes, and then all of a sudden they're like, we need to get this forward and just sing it straight out the pitch, and there just seems to be no kind of rhythm. Shankland's, the ball's over here on the left-hand side. Shankland's way over on the right with his arm up. Forrest and Vargas are in the same line, both wanting the same ball. There just seems to be no sort of combinations anywhere on the pitch at the moment.
Yeah, I thought Kel Rose could have driven forward with it. He had 30, 40 yards in front of him. Just go and drive forward, commit one of the Morton players, but it seems to be ultra safe at times. And then, as you say, it's the rush pass after that, so... I think you've got to switch the play quickly against a back five and try and get your opposite fullbacks in, but you've got to do it quickly and with, as you say, a little bit of link-up play.
As Alan Forrest tries to cut inside and swing the delivery in, nowhere near Lawrence Shankland though, goes out for a goal kick.
Andrew, Vargas, and Grant, for me, have got to be better. I mean, I'm looking at the game, it's obviously over the second half now, and George Grant, he's supposed to be playing close to Lawrence Shankland. I've never seen him linking up yet in the whole period of the game there. He's got to do more. He's got to be, more assertive in the game, demand the ball more, show that he's a good player, but it just seems to be, a little bit kind of out of sync with how the game's getting played.
I must admit, when I saw the team lineups and Cammy Devlin was back in, I thought that would be the perfect game for him. He's not had too much to do so far, as Kenneth Vargas has the ball on the edge of the Morton box now. Alan Forrest out on the left-hand side, wanting to take on French. He goes outside, gets the ball back, he curls it in again. Ryan Mullen, really good goalkeeping, just came and collected that ball in the sky as Lawrence Shankland waited for it to drop and fell to the deck, just wasting a bit of time early on in the second half.
But again, that comes from Forrest being direct, being positive, running at a player like Jim said. If you do have time on the ball, engage someone, get somebody to come out to you, and then you can pass it to the man that he's come from. And Hearts need to be so much better than that.
It's Rolls who wins the header. It comes back to Morton. Gillespie trying to find Strap up against Lembikisa. Comes inside. Tries the ball back down the line. This time Lembikisa read it well. It's up into the sky. Devlin against O'Connor. Is that either a Morton throw or a Morton free kick? Either way, they'll get this ball into the box.
Yeah, I think it's a free kick, because I think Cammy Devlin just bars into the back of Rowan Muirhead there. But again, it's a needless challenge. The ball's in the sky, it's coming down. He's not going to do anything. He's almost in the touchline. Just let it go. I think it might be actually a throw. But again, to me, Cammy Devlin just got to have a little bit of calmness and a bit of composure. If anything, actually, if he brings it down, you can nick it off him and get on the counter-attack.
That's Lewis Strap. We know what he's going to do. He's got the towel out. He winds up a huge throw into the Hearts box. It's bouncing around awkwardly. Could come to Cammy Blues. He tried to hit that on the left and got it all wrong. Sails high and wide, and Craig Gordon comes to collect. But another opportunity for Morton, and all they need is one.
Yeah, I think a long throw again, doesn't it? It's simple, but it's so difficult to defend. I mean, you know yourself, Ryan. You're never sure. Do you get someone standing in front of you? Do you want the space to go and attack it as a defender? What do you prefer?
There's so many players in and around it. I prefer when someone's whipping it in and you can just go and attack it. Whereas it's almost a standing start. Everybody's standing in the 6-yard box. You can't get a run at it. Like that, there's 8, 9 players in and around you. You can't. You're sort of worried about it, and I think it's a real asset for Morton at the moment.
Lawrence Shankland takes a throw quickly on the far side. It was a ball in behind that Ryan Mullen did really well to cut out before Kenneth Vargas got there. Lembikisa trying a cute pass to Shankland, which doesn't work. Morton a chance to break. They've worked it well. Blues looks for French, who's powering down the right-hand side. Kingsley comes out to meet him, but French gets the ball in. It's a decent ball to Robbie Muirhead, cuts it back, but Robbie Crawford just not on the same wavelength, and Hearts get it clear. But listen to the Morton fans, they're delighted with what they've seen so far. Robbie Muirhead, that was cute, and it almost came to a brilliant opportunity.
Yeah, very, very unlucky. Again, Hearts giving the ball away cheaply, and Morton springing into the attack. Tremendous run from French, great ball to the back post. Robbie Muirhead peeling off and just cushioning it back. It just went a yard behind the supporting players, just very, very unlucky. But again, another long throw.
Comes into the box, flicked on. It was Alan Forrest who got an important touch, but the ball's still in the box. Blues tries to cross Forrest, another important block, and Devlin gets the clearance over the halfway line. But it's Hearts who are on the ropes in the opening stages of this first half. It's still Morton 0, Hearts 0. 50 minutes played here at Capello.
I think that's probably the biggest difference, that last passage of play. Morton win it from the left back, play it into midfield. Midfielder turns straight away. Right back is on his horse, straight down the line, cross into the back post. Just a little bit more purpose, a little bit more effort into it, whereas Hearts is kind of in and out.
Lewis Strapp encouraged to hurry up there. He came from left to right to take the throw, went short to Baird, and he launched it forward himself. And then Bakisa with the header this time. Kirk Broadfoot works it back to Alan Power, chipping the ball over the top. This is a good opportunity. Morton will get the cross low. Cammy Devlin tries to cut out. It comes back to Morton. Gillespie knocks it to Broadfoot on the edge of the area. He gets it across to Tyler French. Danger still on for Morton, but French takes a poor touch. And it's out for a Hearts throw, but the Morton fans on their feet behind the Hearts goal. Craig Gordon bellowing instructions. It's clear who's in the ascendancy here at Kapalo.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Dougie Emery pointing the diagonal into Len Bakisa. I mean, as we mentioned, he's a terrific footballer, and you can see him, he's great going forward, but defensively, and particularly in the air, the Morton have obviously decided that is a weak area. So even in that second passage of play there, Kip Broadfoot, who was up, had peeled all the way out there to get on it, and any other kind of ball they get, they try and hit that diagonal, whether it's Lewis Strapp to get up top of him, or Robbie Muirhead peeling into that area away from Civic. And you know, it's worked pretty well, and again, a wee bit unlucky there, Morton. The ball just didn't fall kindly for someone in and around the box. Hearts really have to get their act together, or they'll find themselves at the end of a real cup shock here.
And if you're Nathan Atkinson, you're on the bench, you're seeing Len Bakisa have an absolutely torrid time. Are you excited to get on, or are you thinking, God, I don't want that to be me?
It's tricky because he's not 6 foot plus, is he? So he'll be thinking, oh, maybe don't fancy this one if they're getting bombarded down that side. But yeah, you know, if you're Naismith, what do you do? Because they are causing so many problems down Hearts' right side.
Hearts have managed to get the ball forward here. It's Alan Forrest on it again. Again, he comes in on his right and tries the cross, but it's so easy for Jack Baird to cut out. Ball drops nicely though to Cammy Devlin. Stephen Kingsley whips the cross in. Beningame at the front post, and he places the header just over the bar, and that's probably the best chance Hearts have had tonight, and it came to Benny Beningame of all players. His header inches over.
Yeah, it's not probably definitely the best chance Hearts have had all night, Andrew. You're right, it was a brilliant ball from Kingsley this time, whipped in with pace. I think just went over the head of Jack Baird, and Beningame coming for that midfield spot. Normally the kind of defensive-minded midfield player. I think that's what caught Morton out, but he took too much on the header. The pace was all in the cross. All they had to do was direct it really towards the goal, and it put Hearts 1-0 up. They got too much on it, and they went over the bar. And again, a let-off for this time for Morton.
Oh, it's Morton who are coming forward, and again it's Lewis Strapp trying to get the ball under control. He goes down, just trying to see what David Dickinson is going to award here. I think it's a corner. Lewis Strapp.
They'd probably rather a throw-in, wouldn't they?
Lewis Strapp, who did really well to win the second ball. That's what he's been so good at tonight. Robbie Muirhead, who's going across to take it. Will he have a wicked delivery onto the head of perhaps one of his centre halves? Morton have got so many players forward. Kapalo on its feet, absolutely bouncing. Muirhead whips it to the back post. There's a free header. Gordon with the save. It comes back, and it's behind again. But it's a Hearts goal kick. I thought that was a Morton corner, but they are upping the pressure. Both sides now playing an end-to-end game. Both sides desperate to go in front, but it's Morton who are encouraging their side forward now. They smell an upset.
I think in these games it's so hard once you sort of get under pressure to then arm wrestle your way back into the game, and that's what Hearts are really struggling with just now. At the same time, this is Morton's probably best pressure. How often do you see that, you know, that team that's having that good pressure then go out the other end and concede one? So they have to be very careful at the back that they don't get too excited.
It's Robbie Crawford who was trying to get up the left-hand side. Toby Civic doing really well though, coming across and covering for his defensive teammate Dexter Lembakisa. But it is Morton who have the ball in Hearts half. It's chipped forward again. Civic having the shirt pulled off his back by Strapp. Play went on and Gordon made the save. I thought I heard a whistle, but play went on, and Lewis Strapp forced Craig Gordon into a fantastic save. Kapalo luring their side forward, but now it's Hearts who are roaring. It's Devlin coming away. He tries to find Shankland. It's cut out. Oh, this game has really come into life in this second half, and it could go either way.
Absolutely brilliant period of passes of play there from both sides. You mentioned I thought it was an absolute free kick. See him pulling the jersey, but the referee Dickinson just allowed it to play on. Lon Shackleton having a word with him. I can't believe it. Obviously there was no VAR, so it would have stood anyway. An outstanding save. That's 2 saves there in the second half from Craig Gordon, and then Hearts get up the other end there, and Cammy Devlin just didn't execute the pass well enough. Put more pace on it, take more risk with it, try to be too cute, too precise, and it was cut out by a corner, making his way back from his advanced position.
Well, it's Hearts coming forward again now. Devlin gets the ball to Forrest. Grant and Kingsley are out on the left-hand side. It comes to the latter. Kingsley trying the cross now. It's into a dangerous area, and it's over the Morton bar. It's great defending. I'm trying to see who it was. I think it was Darragh O'Connor who cleared it over Ryan Mullen's bar. The Morton keeper had no idea what was going on there, but again, Hearts upping the pressure.
It's one of those ones. You hear the phrase corridor of uncertainty, and that's exactly what it was. Goalkeeper doesn't know where to come. Defenders have no one running in to face their own goal. It's horrible. You have to deal with it. But O'Connor done magnificently because he was sprinting in, and he still then had to put the brakes on just to make sure he cleared away for a corner. Well,
there's a Hearts corner coming up. There's also 2 subs. We'll go to those in just a second after this out-swinging corner from George Grant comes in. He's not had the best deliveries so far tonight, as David Dickinson has a word with, I think that's Kai Rolls and possibly Tyler French, who have been wrestling in the middle. The ball coming in from Grant now. Comes to the penalty circle. Rolls can't get the header on it. Morton clear first time, but it's back out to Grant. Onto his left foot. He's under real pressure. He loses the ball, and Morton could come forward now. Grant with the foul, and Grant into the book. David Dickinson flashing the yellow card. Stephen Naismith won't be happy. That's a Hearts corner that's ended up in a Hearts booking, but now we'll cross to Brian on the touchline for these 2 Hearts changes.
Yeah, not surprisingly, George Grant is the first player being replaced. He'll be replaced by number 19 Alex Cochrane, and again, not too surprisingly, Dexter Lembikisa is going to be replaced with Nat Atkinson coming on for the last half hour.
Well, I think those are the 2 Hearts players that we've probably singled out for criticism the most this evening. Lembikisa's night is over, as is George Grant, fresh into the book. That looks like it could be a change of Hearts formation. It could also be Alex Cochrane slipping into the midfield, as he has done on a few occasions this season. Are you surprised by those changes, Jim?
I'm not surprised by the changes, but Lembikisa, I said, has done okay going forward, but he's still got a lot to learn defensively, which is again no issue with that. But again, Grant just been anonymous. Vargas has got to do better. Forrest has been okay. Lon Shackleton, I've hardly seen him. Again, don't get me wrong, it's Lon Shackleton, he just maybe needs one chance. That is a silly challenge by Atkinson just on the pitch, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't like that substitution. I feel that Strap's having an unbelievable game. They're targeting that left-hand side. To then throw somebody on with 60-odd minutes on, to then go and try and stop that tide when Morton are on top, I think it's a really difficult one. And you can just see it there. He's obviously, Naismith said, go win your headers, go do this, and he's given away a foul in a very dangerous position. And now if he gives the next one away, he's on a yellow and he's treading, really carefully. So I'm not sure I would have changed it because, I think the Hearts right back was doing well going forward.
The ball comes in, swung to the back post. A few Morton players there. It's up into the air, attacked again and again. And Craig Gordon lets it just drift wide of his right-hand post. So the Hearts player down in the box. But that all came from Nathaniel Atkinson's very, very first involvement, shoving Lewis Strap in an aerial battle and giving away that free kick. Not the start that the Australian right back would have wanted to make. It was Cammy Devlin who went down in the box. He's back to his feet now. It will be a Hearts goal kick.
Yeah, you just think that the first thing I would have thought that Stephen Naismith would have said to him, don't give away cheap free kicks when you go on, and then the first thing he does, it's just so needless. It's just like a blatant push, it doesn't even attempt to jump. I thought that Hearts might change it to a 3 at the back, not because from a defensive point of view, but just to kind of match up with Morton a little bit and allow maybe Rolls and Civic to drive forward with the ball, because Morton only playing Muirhead up front. Maybe we'll see Cochrane, he seems to be a wee bit more advanced, but Hearts really, as I said to you, are hanging on a little bit here. I know they've had that one fantastic chance from Beringamy, but other than that, Ryan Mullen has been very, very comfortable in the Morton goal.
Well, we just saw Nathaniel Atkinson under pressure again. He almost overhit the pass to Benny Beningame. That would have been in Hearts' half, and it would have been a chance for Morton had they got the foot on the ball. But Benny Beningame playing the role of firefighter, picking up the ball and trying to get it up the line for Hearts. They really are on the ropes, though, and this is exactly how they wouldn't have wanted this game to pan out. 61 minutes on the clock, still 0-0 between Morton and Hearts, and Morton, who are really putting the visitors under pressure. Here they come again. Crawford trying to work the ball to Gillespie. Comes back to Jack Baird. He tries that diagonal. It's brilliant. Strap trying to nod it down. Could come to Gillespie. Tried the ball into the middle. Kai rolls. Kung Fu kicking the ball away before O'Connor heads it back into a dangerous area. Civic takes Strap out on the edge of the box, and that one's not a free kick. And Hearts will try and get this ball away, but they are living so dangerously here in Greenock.
Yeah, I mean, again, the one thing there has been a little bit of change, but I think might help Hearts is Forrest, you know, playing in that, you know, kind of number 10 role now, really, alongside Lawrence Shanklin, because, you know, if they can get him on the ball and he can go on the half-turn line, then he will be positive, he will be direct. Whereas, you know, I think Grant, you know, just didn't fancy it tonight. You know, I think Forrest has been up for it, but just need to get him on the ball a bit more there.
He also has that quality as well.
Lawrence Shanklin.
Well, we've seen something on the far side. Lawrence Shanklin just throwing Lewis Strap to the turf in a kind of judo move, and he goes straight into David Dickinson's book, and that's the frustration of Lawrence Shanklin just spilling over. He's been furious with his teammates and what they've produced tonight, and Lewis Strap, I think, maybe making the most of it on the far side, but it's certainly a booking. And Lawrence Shanklin just allowing his frustration to get the better of him there.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's exactly what's happening. They're getting under the Hearts players' skin. You know, they're winding them up. You know, they're putting them off their game. That's exactly what Dougie Emily wants from these players. You know, making sure that the Hearts players are not focused on playing football. They're getting caught up in a battle, and if it's a battle at this moment in time, it looks as if there's going to be one winner, and that's the team in the blue and white hoops.
Well, there's been another booking, as you were talking there, Jim. It's for Kirk Broadfoot. There was, to call it a melee would have been a bit much, but there was a little coming together between the Morton and Hearts players. Kirk Broadfoot's clearly said something to either David Dickinson or the assistant referee on the far side, and he's gone into the book as well.
I think having played against them a couple of times, I think it might be something he said rather than what he's done.
Every chance. There's no doubt about it. He's certainly not a shrinking violet when it comes to voicing his opinion, Big Curtin. At 39, he's not learning his lesson.
Well, he'd done well. He was up next to Robbie Muirhead trying to escape the referee's attention. But David Dickinson was having none of it. He picked him out the crowd and proceeded to book him. As Morton have a free kick in their own half. But we can see what they're going to do. They're going to get this long, and that's exactly what they do. Darragh O'Connor challenging for the ball on the edge of the Hearts box. Comes back down, Blues just knocking it back in. Devlin's header isn't the best, and Strap will cross this in. Brilliant ball. Kai rolls with the header away. Vargas and Shanklin trying to link up on the counter. They get it all wrong. Kirk Broadfoot nods it down for Crawford. He's into the box. He turns. He's up against Beningame. He works it to Broadfoot. Tries the cross. Craig Gordon collects under almost no pressure and then launches the ball down the field with a throw. Alan Forrest gets onto it. Shanklin's free in the middle if he can find him. Forrest just about keeps up with the ball and then wins a corner. Brilliant play by Craig Gordon and brilliant play by Alan Forrest as well.
That's just where he brings his experience. He comes and catches it, realises that Morton's still got a couple of their centre-backs up from the sort of long free kick, springs Forrest, poor Alan Powers chasing him back, and wins the corner for Hearts and gets him right up the pitch.
It's Alex Cochrane who will take over the corner kick duties. George Grant didn't do a very good job of them. What can Alex Cochrane do? It's another outswinger into the box. Kingsley's in there. It's Darragh O'Connor, I think, who heads away. It's one back though. Kingsley chests. He tries to get it down, rolls with the shot. It doesn't break for Hearts, and Morton get it away. Lewis Stratt hoofs it down the pitch, and now Atkinson under real pressure. He didn't know where that ball was. It smacked him on the back of the head.
He actually did really well there.
Robbie Muirhead. Atkinson just doing enough there under real pressure from Robbie Muirhead, and Hearts can just about get back in their shape and regather.
I'm just wanting to know how Kenny's enjoying this game here, because he's not used to seeing Premier League games. You don't normally see them getting launched from the edge of the box right up to the other top there, and everybody just kind of blowing the bugle to go and get up on top of that second ball. You know, listen, we all love the modern day football, but at times this type of football, you know, as I say, it's not silky soccer, but it's certainly dramatic.
It's cup football, and it's suiting Morton at the moment. They win a free kick in their own half. I wonder what they'll do here. It's Alex Cochrane with the foul. Stephen Naismith bellowing instructions down below us. Dougie Imrie blows his cheeks out, he shakes his head. I can't imagine he's too frustrated. 65 minutes gone, it's Morton 0, Hearts 0. I would say Morton have dragged Hearts down to their level, but that's harsh. I don't think Hearts have met Morton so far tonight.
I think it's very unkind. I think there's different ways to play, Andrew. You know, I mean, you can play silky soccer all you want, but you've got to play effective football, play to your strengths. Morton are playing to their strengths. You know, if you're a Morton fan, what you want is you want your team, your players playing for the jersey, and every single Morton player so far has given that total commitment which you would demand if you're a manager, and Dougie's getting that from his players. You know, listen, the game's still 0-0, it's still evenly poised. Hearts have got the quality to go up the pitch and get through the tie, but other than Craig Gordon's two fantastic saves, Morton would be in front.
Well, here comes Toby Sibic on a little run forward. He finds Atkinson. Into Sibic, who's now into the box. This is brilliant from the big centre half. He keeps the ball in play, tries to win the corner, and then just loses it as Strap takes a really nice touch away from Kenneth Vargas, who was putting him under pressure. And Muirhead does brilliantly, trying to work the ball with Crawford, and Kai Rolls with a really important foot in. Rolls probably the most impressive of the Hearts rear guards so far this evening. Devlin goes down, and it will be a Hearts free kick just inside the Morton half. Lewis Strap with the foul, and I don't think Hearts will be launching this into the box. I think they'll be playing it around.
Well, that's the kind of cute foul you want if you're a Morton,
exactly.
You know, a little 1-2s. You've probably worked on that. Just block them off, make sure they don't get into a rhythm. I mean, Hearts haven't got any rhythm in the second half. I thought they really came out the traps. Thought they'd get maybe a bit of rollicking, you know, from the manager. But if anything, it's Morton that have been the dominant side in the second half.
Certainly Morton have had 7 shots to Hearts 6 so far tonight. Tells you some of the story. Certainly is Kenneth Vargas almost caught Alan Power, who skips away from the challenge. Brilliant play from Alan Power, 36 years old now, and he's not showing his age at all. He's been such an instrumental part of that Morton midfield. As you say, Ryan, absolutely fantastic
really
tonight.
Good. Yeah, everything that Morton's done well, he's done it, or he's been at the centre of it. I just think there's too many from a Hearts perspective.
The ball comes down to Cammy Devlin. Great opportunity for the Australian. Good save, Ryan Mullen. The ball sitting nicely for Devlin on the edge of the area. He just about got the ball out of his feet. Mullen diving to his right to make the save. Just a little half chance for Hearts.
Yeah, well, again, Hearts going route one that time. Long ball, pick up the second ball, and Devlin was on it a flash. Good first touch and a good strike and a terrific save from Ryan Mullen.
It's Atkinson getting the ball to Devlin, trying to combine up the right hand side. Forrest has come in from now that number 10 role. Hearts have gone to a 3 at the back. Cochrane's definitely on the left. It's Devlin just a little slack, and maybe his lack of game time getting to him there. He's normally a bit of a Duracell bunny, can run all night, but he's looking absolutely exhausted in the Hearts midfield as Ryan Mullen just about gets the ball away. Atkinson picks up in the Morton half, and just knocks it back to Kai Rolls. Now Stephen Kingsley, Alex Cochrane, Forrest is an option, so's Vargas, but it goes back to Kai Rolls. Benny Beningame in the red boots, back to Rolls. Plenty of the ball this evening. Not normally too much of a distributor, Kai Rolls, but that's the role he's had to play. Hearts went to 4 at the back from the start. Shanklin picks up, can't get the ball past Robbie Crawford though, who's been up to support Robbie Muirhead and then dropped into the midfield when required. Robbie Crawford, a huge shift from him, a huge shift from everyone in a blue and white hoop shirt so far this evening. No subs as yet made by Morton. And it's Jack Baird with the foul on Kenneth Vargas, as Morton just getting a little impatient in the press, and a good opportunity now for Hearts to get the ball into the box.
But you can also see Naismith just down in front of us getting so frustrated when they're playing those side-to-side passes. You know, he's encouraging them to, you know, get it into Forrest, get it into Shanklin's feet, but they just seem to be, you know, because of the pressure, because of the game, because of the situation, they just seem to be that little bit nervous of playing that ball through and taking that little risk that they need to get to score a goal.
It's Forrest and Cochrane over it. Forrest with the delivery flicked on to the head of Stephen Kingsley. It's deflected, and Ryan Mullen does brilliantly to come out and collect it again. He just has that little slow drop to his knees, then his elbows, and he takes his time getting back to his feet, and he'll take his time, you'd imagine, getting this ball up the pitch.
Yeah, again, good goalkeeping there, anticipated it, you know, he was on the front foot, you know, gave an early shout to his teammates, collected the ball comfortably, but again, it wasn't the best ball in from Hearts from a set play, and again, I'm a wee bit surprised they haven't worked, you know, been a wee bit more inventive in their, because they know when they're coming to Capello, they know the type of pitch it is, they know Morton's going to be a big side, they also know they've maybe not got as many physical players, so you know, you think they would have worked on that, you know, during the week, that they could have come up with something a little bit more creative, but so far, you know, it's just been pretty straightforward from Hearts, and that's been comfortable for Morton.
Jim, you said before the game at the 70-minute mark, if it's still 0-0, Dougie Imrie will be happy, but it'll be interesting to see what he does. What do you think he's going to do from here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, his team's going to be playing exactly the same way, because they don't need to change it. It's Hearts that need to change it. If Hearts score a late goal, then, you know, everyone will say, well, Hearts, you know, they've got that extra quality, etc. But if Morton scored a late goal, Hearts have been shot. As Ryan said, you know, that's when, you know, all the criticism starts coming out for the manager, and even though they've done well this year, you know, Hearts are expected to be in semi-finals and finals, and, you know, and their performance up to now, you know, they you can't say they've deserved it, but they just need one clear chance.
They have the ball on the edge of the area now. Atkinson with it, tries the low cross. It goes out for a throw.
But even if you look at the possession, I think it's 67% to Hearts. Morton's had more shots on goals, more shots off target. They've been the ones that have created it, whether that by hook or crook and, you know, launching it into the box. They've been the ones that look more like scoring compared to Hearts, which isn't really acceptable when you look at the two clubs.
Of course, Hearts no stranger to a cup upset as Cammy Devlin fouls on the far side. He's on a booking, remember, but David Dickinson quite happy to let that one go down just as a free kick.
See Cammy Devlin doing that a lot. He gives away a free kick and then he puts his head in his hands as if to say, you can't believe that, referee, you've given me an free kick. But he's got to be careful. You know, in cup ties, you know, one tackle, another tackle, and it can be an accumulation of things like that. The referees think, wait a minute, it's the same player again. So yeah, he is that style of player. He does like to, you know, make challenges, but Hearts do not want to be going down to 10 men, that's for sure.
Well, Robbie Muirhead comes away with the ball. This time David Dickinson does blow for a foul as Muirhead then goes down injured. He had absolutely no eyes on the ball as that was launched forward. He was all over Toby Sibbick, and Craig Gordon quite keen to get that ball out from under Robbie Muirhead and play on, although Muirhead will now get to his feet as David Dickinson pulls the play back.
This is a time when, you know, the Morton, you know, squad could have an impact, because they only have kids in, you know, certain areas of the pitch that they can change it. Somebody like Robbie Muirhead is putting an unbelievable shift in. There is no options really at this moment in time for Dougie, so, you know, the players on the pitch will have to continue to dig deep into the reserves to give, you know, the same level as they've given so far in this game.
Beningame did well there to find Kingsley. It's Forrest on the left. He's been Hearts' best outlet so far this evening. He gets the cross, it drifts over the crossbar and out for a goal kick. And Alex Cochrane, since he's come on, he's played in the middle, he's played out at left wing back. That might be a problem for Morton. It might be harder to pick up. Certainly seems to be sticking to a central role now.
I think Alan Forrest has got, as I said, he's got that freedom. He's playing the left, he can go and make those little diagonal runs, and that'll leave Cochrane to drift out in that left as well, and he can drop into midfield. So yeah, there has been a little bit of a tweak in the system from Hearts, but nevertheless, you know, whatever they've done so far, Morton have managed to deal with it relatively comfortably.
Well, the ball is back in the Hearts defence. It's Cochrane on it. He tries the diagonal to find Forrest, appeals for offside instantly, and instantly that flag goes up on the far side.
Just little things like that are coach killers, aren't they? You're looking along the line, it's what, 70-75 minutes, it's a great out ball, and you just go that fraction early. You know, it's not as if Forrest is slow as well. We can have that half a yard onside, so I'm sure if Naismith had any hair, he'd be pulling it out at the moment.
Yeah, hair in short supply on the touchline, it has to be said, as Kirk Broadfoot takes the ball forward.
That's what you get for being managers.
Well, he launched that one. Really, that was almost like a 50-22 in rugby.
Yeah, it was. Any touch, yeah.
He's put Hearts into a really awkward position. Stephen Kingsley with a throw deep in his own half. Morton able to get their players right up the pitch and put Hearts under pressure. Well, the throw is then allowed to bounce. Shankland up against Baird. Morton again launch it into the sky. Kingsley, Broadfoot takes it down, just chips it forward, and it's Muirhead against Rolls again. No eyes on the ball, all eyes on the defender. It could drop now from Morton. We're into the box. Cammy Blues with the touch, and it's
even situations like that. Broadfoot's got the time to take it down in the chest and play that ball up. There's not been one opportunity from Hearts, whether that be Muirhead, whether that be Crawford off him, where they've been able to have a chest and a nice volley or a nice pass up. It has to be rushed. This has been a little bit of everything. So, again, it's a really clever play by Broadfoot.
It's going to be a throw now to Morton on the near side. Lewis Strap goes across to take it again.
Yeah, you got a wee bit longer run up on this side of the touch. There's a wee bit more of an area, where the other side it's a wee bit tighter.
There's plenty of players in the box for Morton. It's arrowed in and headed away. Power will just knock that one back to Tyler French. Strap calling for it on the near side, but just an up and under that Toby Sibbett can head away, but only as far as Alan Power. Muirhead back down to Power. Morton still with the ball in the Hearts half. Hearts just chasing shadows at the moment. Muirhead, it's a poor pass and Cochrane picks off. Devlin looking for the ball over the top to Shankland. It's expertly weighted. Shankland in behind. Can he get a break of the ball? He tries to find Vargas. This is a huge chance. It's over the bar. Brilliant play from Lawrence Shankland to work the ball to Vargas. And the Hearts players are so frustrated. Vargas, with his hands on his knees, he slaps the turf. He tried to lift it over the keeper. It just clipped the crossbar and went over. And there will be a third Hearts change. Brian, what can you bring us?
Yeah, Cammy Devlin, his night is over and he'll be replaced by number 22. He's just turned 20-year-old Aidan Denham.
What a huge opportunity for Kenneth Vargas to put Hearts into the semi-final, but he just lifted it a little too high. Will they come to regret that?
Brilliant play from Shankland. It was a great ball from Devlin. The first time they've really played a ball over the top. Shankland, he gets the ball stuck under his feet, but he's got the awareness and again the calmness to pick the right pass, and he lays it on a plate for Vargas. I don't know why he took the extra touch. I think he could just have side-footed it into the net, but he takes a touch and then goes with the outside of his foot and gets far too much elevation on it. It goes well over the bar. But that is the opportunity that Hearts have been waiting for this whole second half, and they've blown it.
Oh, maybe a shame for Cammy Devlin to come off after probably his best piece of work all night. Brilliant weighted ball over the top to Shankland, who did really well to control it eventually and find Vargas, but the Costa Rican just couldn't show the composure required. And as it stands, 78 minutes gone, Morton 0, Hearts 0. The ball in behind again, Forrest chasing now. Ryan Mullen under pressure did really well to just side foot that away. Robbie Crawford actually in an offside position. Hearts will have a free kick in their own half. Civic to take, just knocks it sideways to Kai Rolls. But that chance has certainly boosted Hearts, boosted their confidence a little bit. As Atkinson tried to find Vargas on the right, he ended up coming back inside. Rolls getting in front of Robbie Muirhead. Hearts working this nicely. Kingsley with a bit of room, knocks it back into Cochrane. Tries the cross, Shankland. It could drop to Shankland. Morton get first to the ball. Darrow O'Connor, this time the man to clear. Atkinson into Forrest. The ball just not sitting. Manages to get it to Kai Rolls though. Kingsley. Hearts with a spell of possession now, with only 10 minutes left. It's all getting a little tense, a little edgy around Capello. The scores remaining 0-0.
I think this is probably the first time in the game where Morton looked that little bit leggy, that little bit heavy. They're half a yard off the press. They've done so well in their shape to limit Hearts to barely nothing, but you can just see the players are a little bit, their heads are down, they're waggling a little bit, they're just that half yard off. So, like we said on the top of the show, I think the bench, or not having those options to bring on, is kind of half killing them, but they're still in the game, and who knows, could go to extra time, could be a late one.
Certainly could be a late one, of course. Extra time and potentially penalties on the card before that semi-final draw to come once this game has come to a conclusion. As Kingsley has a bit of space, he plays in behind Aidan Denham. Big chance! Ryan Mullen, fantastic save to deny Aidan Denham. It would have been a first Hearts goal for the youngster. What a time it could have been to get it, but Ryan Mullen produces the goods, and he's taken a sore one in doing so. He holds on to the ball as David Dickinson pauses the play. Mullen will receive some physio treatment, maybe a bit of gamesmanship from the Morton keeper, but a really big save when it mattered.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much of a problem for Ryan. I think he's just having a little breeze. As Ryan McGinn was saying here, I think the Morton players are needing a wee drink and just a wee G up from the manager, so they're coming over for...
You can see there's 6 of them coming over for a little...
Yeah, just a little chat with the manager, and just to try and get that little bit extra out of them, to try and see this 90 minutes out. But Denham's got to score there. I mean, it's a fantastic pass. It's in behind the fence. He can go either way. He can bend it to the far post. He can wrap his foot into the near post. I think he just got a little bit overexcited and then just choked it straight into almost the body of Ryan Mullen. So I just think the youngster just got a wee bit overexcited there. Just lacked that wee bit of composure, but a terrific ball. And as Ryan was mentioning there, you know, Hearts just start to pick and probe and maybe just try to, you know, up the tempo here in the last 10 minutes to see if they can knock the stuffing out of Morton.
I'm just looking at the contrast between the two teams there. When we had that little injury break for Ryan Mullen, as you say, 6, 7, 8 Morton players over to the bench, getting the water on board, getting those gels on board. 10 Hearts outfield players all stood around the centre circle, not really saying a word to each other. They're certainly the team that look a little shell-shocked at the moment as Darragh O'Connor shells the ball over the cowshed. A few precious extra seconds eaten up as Stephen Kingsley receives a new ball, punts it across to Nathaniel Atkinson on the far side. But we're into the final 10 minutes here. Of course, there'll be injury time to come. But if there's a goal now, this would be absolutely huge for either side. Alan Forrest works the ball to Shanklin, tries to get it on. That was to Vargas on the far side, but Morton get it half away. Forrest, Atkinson on the overlap. Forrest keeps it, tries to play it to Beningame. David Dickinson almost getting in the way as the ball is rolled to Stephen Kingsley. Now Cochrane. Again, David Dickinson almost getting in the way as Alan Forrest picks up.
He's getting great little pockets of space, isn't he, the ref?
As the ball comes back to Atkinson, a couple of step-overs before he chips the ball. Big shout for handball. David Dickinson takes his time and awards the corner. Stephen Naismith furious on the touchline below us.
I don't know how Stephen Naismith can see it from there. We can't see it from up here. So, you know, may well, but I think Lawrence Shanklin was the only one that was claiming for it, and none of the other Hearts players seem to be doing it. But an opportunity now from the corner, and I think it's Cochrane this time, going to try and whip it in as an in-swinger.
Feels like there's been more Morton chances than Hearts chances from corners as the ball is delivered straight to Ryan Mullen, and again he'll take his time. He's been absolutely fantastic for Morton this evening. The young keeper, only 22 years old, and 24 Morton appearances. He has 12 clean sheets. He's doing a superb job, and he's keeping Jamie McDonald out the team as well. The ball comes forward, Kai rolls, heads away, and Ingame able to get it down, and Alex Cochrane with a bit of room to run. Finds Forrest. Looks a little tired now, Alan Forrest, as he comes inside and sprays the ball out wide to Nathaniel Atkinson. The ball closed down by Lewis Strapp. He chases Toby Civic, who sells Kai Rolls a little short. An intake of breath from the Hearts fans, but they're able to get the ball back as Kingsley tries to hold off Cammy Blues and gives away the throw-in.
You can see the fans around here. That's just, he's out on his legs, he's pressing one player, he's pressing the fullback, he's pressing the wing back just to win his team a throw-in. I was waiting for the young left back to come over and zing this in, but you could argue that both the goalkeepers have been their best players. You know, Craig Gordon's had 2 great saves, young Ryan Mullen's had some great saves, so all in all it's been a pretty entertaining game.
He had to go all the way down to League 2 when he left Celtic, joining Clyde. A really impressive season, got his move to the Championship, and he's making the most of it so far. As Forrest wins the ball back for Hearts, Shanklin trying to play it to Denham round the corner. Aidan Denham just a little higher up the pitch than Cammy Devlin perhaps was, but Morton have the ball. Muirhead thought about going down under the challenge, but he's ended up staying on his feet and gave it away, and Benny Beningame's tearing forward. He plays the ball to Shanklin through the middle, huge opportunity. He takes too long, lays it off to Vargas! Kenneth Vargas gives Hearts the lead. It's been a long time coming. 85 minutes on the clock to be exact, but Hearts have finally taken the lead at Capello, and it comes through the boot of Kenneth Vargas. Hearts, maybe, just maybe, are on the road to Hampden.
Yeah, well, performance is secondary when it comes to cup ties. It's all about the result. and Hearts look as if they're going to get that result that they were so desperate to achieve before this match started. But all credit goes to Benny Beningame. I mean, he's picked the ball up here deep in his own half. He's driven forward. You could see the Morton players they were running in treacle. They just couldn't get to him. They were absolutely shattered. They could have maybe taken one for the team. Ryan, maybe Alan Power or something, just trip him up and take one for the team. But they didn't.
They
couldn't get close. You're right, they were just shattered. And then as he ran through, went to Shanklin. You thought he was going to pull the trigger. He didn't. Again, the ball stuck under his feet, but he managed to just cushion it towards Vargas. Again, a magnificent strike. Really, he's been poor in the game. It doesn't matter how poor you've been, you've come up with a pivotal moment when it mattered.
Shattered Morton bodies couldn't get back, and they've made a change as a result. What can you tell us, Brian?
Yeah, Captain Grant Gillespie has given way. Callum Waters, he was waiting to go in just before that goal by Vargas, but what a run that was by Benny Beningame. Picked the ball way up inside his own half, and he must have ran 50 yards beyond the Morton midfield.
Well, he looked like he'd taken far too big a touch, but it just broke so kindly for him, as Morton now desperately trying to find an equaliser, and that must be such a gut punch to Dougie Imrie's side, who have performed admirably in this game. They've carried out Dougie Imrie's plan almost to the letter, but they've just been caught on the counter, their bodies just failing them. But they've come forward now, the ball comes in, and it will go out for a Morton throw, and here comes Lewis Strapp to try and give Morton a chance for a leveller.
You know where it's going, and again, you know, Hearts have defended this situation well so far, but this is the time that they really need to be totally focused and have that full concentration.
It'll be Lewis Strapp, launches it in. Craig Gordon's come for it. Brilliant from the Scotland keeper, and now he launches the attack, and now Hearts could make Morton pay. Brilliant touch from Atkinson. He's got Denham with him. He tries to pull it back. It comes off the Morton defender and goes out for a corner. They're furious. They think it came off Atkinson again, but that could have been the chance to kill the game.
It's an unbelievable first touch. And also, again, the awareness from Craig Gordon. You know, picking the ball up, not falling down to the ground, starting an attack. Atkinson on his bike. Great first touch, and he's tried to cut it back. And you know, to be fair to the Morton players, that back three's been outstanding tonight. And, you know, they got back in numbers and blocked it.
Right, you're saying there. I mean, Morton went 1-0 down. As Andrew said, it's a punch in the solar plexus, you know, and then they've managed to sprint 90 yards all the way back there to put a game-saving challenge in. Really, if that goes in, game's done. But they're still hanging on in there, and that, again, that attitude has been evident right from the first whistle. I mean, they cannot compliment their attitude anymore.
The ball comes in eventually. I think it was Shanklin going for it. It's gone behind for another Hearts corner. They're not content with this 1-0 lead. They want to wrap things up as comfortably as they can in the remaining few minutes here at Capello. Morton 0, Hearts 1 in this Scottish Cup quarter-final. Hearts at the moment the team in the hat for the semi-final draw, which will follow the conclusion of this fixture. The Hearts fans behind that goal, bouncing now. They waited a long time for the goal. They finally got it through Kenneth Vargas. Will they have a second as Alex Cochrane prepares to take this out-swinging corner? Hand in the air, he delivers now. Will it find a Hearts body? Shanklin takes a touch, it drops to Beningame, drives on the left. Good drop to Kingsley, the ball still alive. Morton need to get this clear. I think it's Strapp taking his time, or sorry, maybe Alan Power. And it's well closed down, brilliantly closed down in the end by Alan Forrest. He's put in a real workload this evening for Hearts. And he doesn't win, he loses a throw as 4 minutes of added time are shown on the board. Morton have 4 minutes to save this game and put it to extra time. Hearts have 4 minutes to see it out and make sure they're going to Hampden.
I think one of the centre-backs is going to go up now, whether it's a corner or whether it's Baird. I think you'll find that they've nothing to lose, Dougie, and you know, get the centre-backs up the pitch and see whether you can get one chance in this game.
It's the goal-scoring threat of Kirk Broadfoot that's gone forward for Morton. We'll see if that pays off. They've lost a throw in the Hearts half, and Stephen Kingsley now will really take his time over this. But you saw there, Ryan Mullen had the ball, and Lawrence Shanklin and Alan Forrest were pressing high up. using every bit of fitness they have to try and make sure that Morton can't find a way back into this.
It's amazing what a goal does, to the energy levels. We probably haven't seen that all second half, but they got the chance to put them under pressure, done it, and again, like we said, Kurt Broadfoot earlier on had time to bring it down the chest and knock it forward. Didn't have that chance, and Hearts got the throw in their own half.
Well, they've worked it forward. Forrest into Denham. Just lays it off to Forrest, who heads to the corner, sticks his bum out, tries to win the throw-in, but he does in fact win the throw-in. John McGinn-esque there from Alan Forrest. And Tyler French now throwing an arm up in frustration. Morton have put so much into this game, and at the moment they're going to leave empty-handed as the Hearts fans jeer in the away terracing. They're going to make the long trip back to Edinburgh happy. At the moment, about 2.5 minutes left to play here at Capello. Morton 0, Hearts 1.
Yeah, it's not pretty, but it's about game management. It's about keeping the ball in that corner as long as you possibly can, just flicking it up off the Morton player, trying to keep it in there and frustrate the Morton players. One of them might just come over and do something rash, get a free kick, but it's been really good man management so far in the injury time from Hearts.
Well, Alex Cochrane's picked up the ball, he's into the box, and then he makes a beeline for the corner. I recall earlier this season, Hearts winning at Fir Park. There was 5 minutes of injury time, and almost all of that 5 minutes was spent just in one of the corners. Lawrence Shanklin, another string to his bow, an absolute expert at wasting time to kill a game off. Aidan Denham trying to flick the header on. Morton now with a chance to try and get it upfield. What can they do from here? Civic up against Muirhead. Strap flicks on. Kirk Broadfoot trying to run in behind. I think he would have been offside anyway. He was running through treacle there, the old centre half.
I think I'm going to ask Kit for a race tomorrow.
Hearts get the ball over the halfway line. They want it back in that corner. Kingsley looking for Denham, who gets the ball ahead of a tired Tyler French. Denham, despite his young years, he knows the script. Just keep the ball in that corner. They win the throw off Robbie Crawford. And Hearts, they know they've been in a battle tonight. Their players are looking absolutely exhausted at the back. Kai Rolls, Toby Civic, their hands on their knees. It looks like it's going to go their way. It looks like they're going to send those Hearts fans home happy. They need to see out these remaining few seconds. Not long to go at all. David Dickinson has a quick look at the watch. Doug Amory, his hands in his pockets, a dejected figure in the home dugout. His side have put everything into this, and they've just come up short. That Kenneth Vargas goal looking likely to be the winner. As David Dickinson blows the full-time whistle. Hearts are going to Hampden. They huffed and they puffed, and they eventually broke down the Morton rearguard. It was Kenneth Vargas in the 85th minute who finally got the job done for Hearts. It was far harder than they ever wanted it to be. Morton put up an unbelievable fight, but in the final throes of this game, Hearts find a way to win and deliver an absolute gut punch to Doug Amory and Morton. It finishes at Capello. Greenock Morton 0, Heart of Midlothian 1.